This conference will now be recorded.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now with the Cdisc part. Right, so this slide we covered yesterday, correct? We covered this part yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, fine. So now you can see in other case, the main important point is first one, you can see case number one. Case number one is if you find any non-standard data, that non-standard data, to read that non-standard data, we use this concept. Okay, supplemental qualifier data sets we create. And the second one, any data set in which SDTM variable has text value exceeding, length of 200 character limit. Okay, any SDTM data set which has variable more than 200 characters. So if you have a text more than 200 characters, obviously you can see. If you have length more than 200 characters, so greater than 200 character will go to, supplemental qualifier domain. Okay, greater than 200 characters will go to supplemental qualifier domain. Right. Next. One point to be noted here is, as per your SDTM standards, in one variable you can store only 200 characters. You cannot store more than 200 characters. Up to 200 characters you can store in one variable. So if your data is having more than 200 characters, so in that case, what you will do is you have to create a new variable, and in that variable you have to store, and in that variable you have to store. That variable will go to supplemental qualifier data set. That variable will go to supplemental qualifier data set. That is what I mean to say. Right. Next. So now you can see here, this is a only case. Only exceptional in this case is trial inclusion exclusion criteria. Only exceptional case in this is trial inclusion exclusion criteria. So trial inclusion exclusion criteria here, you can have greater than 200. You can have greater than 200. Right. So if you have greater than 200, all that information will go to metadata and will be linked to define.xml. Okay, right. So is this clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is this clear to everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next, relate records. Relate records is created only as per sponsor's choice. So now we understood supplemental qualifier data sets, when to create. So what information you'll have in supplemental qualifier data sets. So relate records, you can see relate records is created only as per sponsor's choice. So information, if you wanted to draw some scientific rationale between these two data sets, between any two data sets, in that case we create this. And if you wanted to find relationship between adverse events and concomitant domains, so what is the adverse event, what concomitant medication we have given. So if you wanted to draw some scientific justification, if you wanted to draw some meaningful interpretation by combining data sets, in that case we create relate records. In that case, we create relate records. Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right. Sponsor defined are custom domain. Sponsor defined are custom domain. These are the domains usually created in any of the study trial. These are the domains usually created in any of the study trial. When we encounter data which is of non-SDTM standard and could not be included in any of the SDTM domain. Suppose to say, as per your SDTM standards, we have around 30 to 40 standard domains. Suppose to say if you are creating a data set which is not belonging to any of the domain. Suppose to say if you are creating a data set which is not belonging to any of the list of standard domains. In that case, we can create this sponsor defined R custom domain. Okay, right. And you can see here, naming of these domains is also sponsor dependent. Naming of these domains is also sponsor defined. But first letter of these domains can be assigned according to their observation class. So what are the observation classes you have? What are the observation classes you have?
Intervention, events, medical
Intervention, events,
findings.
findings.
Interventions, events, findings. Correct? Interventions, events, findings. Right. Yes. So here, if supposed to say whatever the data you are collecting, if it has some information about some treatment or medicinal product, then first letter you have to write X. First letter X. Next, if suppose if it is events, okay, then Y. If it is findings, then Z. Z. You can see here, I want everyone to do. Interventions X, events Y, findings Z. According to the data available, we can decide under which observation class particular data resides, and we can term the name accordingly. Suppose to say, for example, if you are taking a kind of assessment data, assessment is you are doing some test and you are getting some result. So those kind of, you can see those kind of information you can write Z because it comes to findings domain. So after that one letter, you can see here it is A. Okay, right. So this is sponsor defined or custom defined domains. Clear everyone, yes or no? Clear everyone, yes or no? Right. Next, data submission standards or SDTM submission data sets. So here, these are all the list of standard SDTM data sets. These are list of standard SDTM data sets. DM, CO, SE, I want everyone to read this data set and description first. As a list of standard data sets, you have to know. After that, I will explain in detail. You guys have gone through?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Next slide. This slide covered.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on to next slide. Next slide. You have gone through next slide. This is also done.
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I will explain all these domains. What are these domains? What information you have in this domain, and what is the standard data structure, and what are the key important variables that are present in this domains or data sets. Okay, right. So now first one is DM domain. First one is DM domain. DM stands for demographics domain. Okay, right. And this belongs to a classification called special purpose domain. This belongs to a classification called special purpose domain. So the data structure, so before that there was no specific standard data structure. After SDTM you have standard variable names, standard data structures, everything. Okay, right. So now you can see here the structure, standard data structure. You can see one record per subject. Okay, one record per subject. And you can see it is a tabulation data set. The main concept is tabulation. Okay, tabulation is nothing but creating table. Table is nothing but a data set. And the key important variables are study id, use subject id. These are the key important variables: study id, use subject id. And these data sets we will submit to regulatory authority in a package called define.xml. These data sets we submit to regulatory authority in a package called define.xml. Okay, so all that information will be stored in DM as a XPT file. So underline this point, whatever the data we transfer to regulatory authority, write it down, this is important. Whatever the data we submit to regulatory authority, whatever the data we submit to regulatory authority, whatever the data we submit to regulatory authority, all these data sets, all these data sets, all these data sets, we have to submit in a format called XPT. All these data sets we have to submit in a format called XPT. XPT stands for SAS transport files. SAS transport files. Right? SAS transport files. XPT stands for SAS transport files. Okay, right. Now you can see here, we will not submit this in a normal SAS dataset format. We will submit in a XPT format. Okay, right. You can see here. Okay, so you can see here, this is your DM dataset. So not only DM, all the datasets we submit to regulatory authority in this XPT format only. Okay, right. Next, in DM domain, we mainly have information related to each and every subject: age, sex, race, ethnicity. Okay, so date of birth, first any daytime of participation, all that information you have in DM domain. You have complete information about a subject. Okay, right. Next, CO, comments domain, special purpose domain. One record per comment. So the only point to be noted here is DM dataset will only have DM dataset only will have one record per subject. DM data will have only one record per subject. Okay, right. DM data will have only one record per subject. But others, you see, there is a chance that one subject can have more than one record. Okay, in other domains, you have one subject can have more than one record. So DM, demographics, CO, comments. So each and every comment will be considered as a separate subject. Suppose this is subject number 1 has 2 comments. For that subject, we will get 2 records. Subject number 2 has 5 comments. He will get 5 records. So the important variables in this are study ID, use subject ID, and comments sequence of your comments. CO, SAQ. CO stands for comments, SAQ stands for sequence, comments sequence. And SE is special elements or subject elements. It is a special purpose domain. So one record per actual element per subject. So each and every subject, how many elements he has participated. So suppose to say few subjects will not complete the study. So suppose to say first one demographics, second one adverse events. Sorry, not demographics. First one um, screening element. Second one baseline element. Okay, so these are all the elements. So how many elements each and every subject has covered, all that information will be presented in SE domain, subject elements domain. The important variables here are study ID, use subject ID, ETCD. ETCD is nothing but element code. And you can see SC, STDTC, subject element start date time character. SC, STDTC is subject elements start date time character. Right. Subject elements start date time character. Fine. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear, everyone? Next, SV, subject visits. How many times? So you can ask me, Raj, what is the difference between TE and SE? What is the difference between SV and TV? So yesterday we have discussed TE. We have discussed TV. What is TE?
Trial elements.
Trial elements. What information you will have in trial elements? You guys are not following. You guys are not following. Okay, so you guys don't know what is TE, right? So TE is what is the input for TE? What is the input from TE? What is the input for TE? Protocol is the input for all your TDMs, trial design models. Protocol is the input for all TDMs, trial design models. Hmm? Yesterday I told you, right? You guys are not following. I told you theory is very dry. Before coming to the class, you have to go through. Hmm? You guys are not following, you are into trouble. If you guys are not following, you are into trouble. Okay, I will not explain one more time. So if you are, that is your responsibility, you have to follow. If you are not following, it is your problem. I cannot explain. And when I told it is important, when you told everything, you have to follow it. Fine. So in a trial element, as per your protocol, how many elements are there? That information you will write it in trial elements. But here in SE, these are all interview questions. These are all interview questions which I generally ask in interviews to understand to what extent you guys are, to what extent the candidate is, good at the subject. Okay. So the same questions I'm asking you here. If you're not following, if you fail here, you will be failed there as well. Okay. So now SE, what it will do? SE, you can see here, it is subject elements. SE is subject elements. So how many times the subject is part, how many elements the subject has passed? Suppose to say, as per your protocol, you have to have screening, baseline, treatment period 1, treatment period 2, and in that if you have weeks, all that week information also you will present. Okay, that is as per your protocol, you will have all complete information. But here SE will show only actual elements. Suppose to say I have 10 elements as per protocol, but subject has gone through only 3 elements. In this case, the subject will have 3 records. If subject number 2 has gone through all the elements, in that case it will have all 10 records. So you got the point, yes or no? SE, SE, you got the point? You got the difference between TE, SE also?
Yes.
You got the difference between TE and SE also, right?
Raj, once you repeat.
Oh, yeah. What you want me to repeat? TE, SE,
Yeah.
TE, SE, TE is
Yes, yes.
clear, TE is clear, TE is clear to you, yes or no?
Both you once difference you can explain.
Oh, yeah, then what you have done yesterday? Come on. What you have done yesterday? When I explained it, TE, what you have done yesterday then? Hmm? Yesterday you didn't attend this session. This is called a protocol. This is called a protocol. You can see screening element, baseline 1, baseline 2, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So during these days, we are going to do all these assessments. During these days, we are going to do all these assessments. You can see it, right? During these days, we are going to do assessments, right? Fine. So these are called different elements. This is what I explained. As per your protocol, these are all your elements. This information will go to TE, trial elements. Okay, SE is supposed to say subject came to study, he is passed the screening, he is done baseline, baseline 2, day 1, day 3. So up to month 1 he participated. Up to month 1 he participated. After that he is not coming. When he is not coming, he will not have these elements, right? So in this case, subject number 1 will have elements up to here only. So SE is always actual. SE. TE is always planned as per your protocol. SE is actual. You got the point? For subject number
Oh,
1, you will have only these elements. Is that
okay,
clear
Raj.
now?
Okay, Raj.
Okay. SV, subject visits. So subject visits, as per your protocol, subject is supposed to come 10 times to the CRO, but he actually came 4 times. All that actual information you will have in SV, subject visits. Next, CM, concomitant medication. CM, concomitant medication. Right. So interventions. One record per recorded medication. One record per recorded medication occurrence, or constant dosing interval per subject. So what is a concomitant medication? Concomitant medication means you can see suppose to say whenever subject is part of a clinical trial, now subject number 1 is part of a clinical trial. Okay, subject 1 is now a part of your clinical trial. Next, subject got some headache. Subject got some headache. To cure that headache, your investigator will give some medication. Okay, some Saridon or Anacin. As last time also I told about this concomitant medication. So any medication which you are giving apart from your investigation product, we will consider it as a CM, concomitant medication. We'll consider it as a concomitant medication. Is that clear everyone, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear everyone, yes or no? Right.
Yes, sir.
Next. The important variables are study ID, use subject ID, and CMTRT, CMSTDTC. So underline this point. Underline this point. First one, all the data sets will have common important variables are study ID, use subject ID. Common important variables are study ID, use subject ID. These two are very common, important variables in all the data sets. Okay, right. Next. So here the important variables are CMTRT, concomitant medications, treatment. What is the exact treatment we have given? And second one, you can see it is CM STDTC. CM STDTC is nothing but concomitant medications, start date time, character. As per your SDTM standards, we all know, as per your SDTM standards, it is you have to read date values in character data type. Okay, it's not numeric, it is character data type. Right, next. Next one, you can see exposure. Exposure is also talking about some medication drug. So you see here interventions domain. It is interventions domain. One record per constant dosing interval per subject. One record per constant dosing interval per subject. Right. So here you can see how much dose the subject has taken. How much dose the subject has taken. So that is what you'll have here in this exposure domain. So how much dose your subject has taken, undergone, that information you'll have in this exposure domain. Right. The important variables are EXTRT, EXSTDTC. STDTC stands for start date time character. If it is CMSTDTC, concomitant medication start date time character. If it is exposure, you see right, EX, it is exposure start date time character. When did the subject first got exposed to study treatment, or when did he got, treatments. When he got to study treatment, all the dates will be captured in exposure start date time character. Next, EXTRT is nothing but exposed treatment. What is the treatment the subject got exposed? Whether it is an investigational product or it is a placebo. What treatment the subject has taken. The treatment name we will write it in EXTRT variable, exposed treatment. Okay, right. SU, substance used. So what all the substances that are used in your treatments, that information we will store it in SU, substance use. One record for substance type per reported occurrence per subject. Suppose to say diclofenac paracetamol. Diclofenac is one substance, paracetamol is one more substance. Okay, So, what are the substances that are used in your investigation products, that information you write it in SU domain, substance use domain. Okay, right. And the important variables are SUTRT, SUSTDTC. SUTRT is substance used treatment and SUSTDTC is substance used start date time character. Okay, right. Next, AE, adverse events. AE is adverse events. So what is an adverse event?
It's a
Sorry,
life-threatening side effect.
life threatening.
Unwanted reaction.
Okay. So
Or
Any
any,
untoward reaction towards the drug
right, any
that
untoward,
will
please go ahead.
any untoward reaction during administration of a drug will investigate to see whether that has been happened with as a cause of administration of a drug or due to other reasons. KDR is a confirmation call that that the adverse event has happened due to drug, whereas AE is an event. We'll investigate to see whether side effects. I mean, the event has raised because of a drug or any other reason.
Yeah, ADR, that's okay. AE is the point we are discussing. So AE is nothing but any untoward occurrence which may or may not be related due to the usage of medicinal product. Okay, in that case, we will consider it as an adverse event. Okay, so that is what adverse event is. So one subject get 2 records, then one subject get 2 adverse events. So for that subject you have 2 records. Each and every event will be considered as a separate record. Okay, per subject, per number of adverse events. You got the point? Per subject, number of adverse events. Suppose this is subject number 1 got 2 adverse events. So for that subject you have how many records? 2 records. Suppose to say subject number 3 has 5 adverse events. So in that case, you will have 5 records, yes or no?
Yes,
Yes or
sir.
no? Right. So number of records depends on number of events the subject got experienced. Right. This is all about AE domain. And the DS domain, disposition. So in disposition domain, you will have information like, if suppose how many subjects completed the study, how many subjects got deviation, how many subjects were okay, right. So that is what we will write in deviations. Okay, right. So here you can, sorry, disposition domain. So one record per disposition status or protocol milestones per subject. So disposition status or protocol milestones per subject. So how many milestones are there? Each and every milestone they will consider as a separate record. Right. Next. This is all about disposition and MH is medical history. Okay, so medical history is also a concept which comes under events. Yesterday only I explained medical history, right?
yes, sir.
So,
Right. Next, you can see here MH medical history. One record per medical history event per subject. Suppose this is subject number 1 has a cardiac surgery. So all that information we will store it in medical history events. So it is an event, it will store in medical history domain. Suppose to say subject number 1 had suffered from COVID. So that you will write it as an event. Subject number 2 has some typhoid. So it will consider as a record. So all that major stuffs, we will write it in this MH domain. So not cold and cough. So just that basic main important points we'll write it in MH domain. And the protocol deviations. Protocol deviations, you can see it is a events domain. One record per protocol deviation per subject. One record per protocol deviation per subject. So each and every deviation will be considered as a separate record. So subject number 1 has 2 deviations. They will be considered as a 2 records for that subject. Each and every deviation will be considered as a separate record. And CE, clinical events. One record per event per subject. One record per event per subject. Okay, each and every clinical event will be considered as a separate record. Right. Next. So now you can see the important variables in MH. MH decode. So decode ante telusa meeku? Nenu synonym qualifiers we have covered, right? Synonym qualifiers we have covered, right? What is decode? Dictionary derived code. Dictionary derived code. Correct? So yesterday we were discussing AE term, AE modify, AE decode. So these decodes are done with respect to MEDRA. So you guys remember this, yes or no? Yesterday we had a discussion also. Okay, right. So all that decodes are nothing but dictionary derived codes. Okay, I thought you guys know this, but still, few people are following, few people are not following. For them, I'm telling. So AE decode is adverse event decodes. STDTC is start date time, that I already told you. DS STDTC is disposition start date time, but DS decode is disposition dictionary derived code. And DV term, this is a protocol deviation term. And DV STDTC is the deviation start date time. And CE term is clinical events term. So this and CSTDTC is start date time. So these are all the important variables. Everybody is clear from this slide, yes or no? Everybody is clear from this slide, yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Moving on to next slide. EG. EG stands for electrocardiogram, ECG test results. EG stands for electrocardiogram test results. Right. One record per EG observation per time point. One record per EG observation per time point per visit per subject. So you can see here study ID, use subject ID, EG test CD, visit num, EG TPT ref, EG TPT num. Time point reference, time point number. Right. Next. So TPT-ref is time point reference. EG TPT num is time point number. With respect to each and every time point, all your finding domains will have the same data structure with respect to observation, with respect to time point, with respect to visit, with respect to subject. Okay, right. Next one, you can see IE, inclusion exclusion criteria not met. IE, inclusion exclusion criteria not met. Okay, right. Next. So people who has, so ICD is different here. I'm not sure about ICD, but real time scenarios we follow MEDRA.
Hi Raj, just to add on, ICT is for medical coding.
Okay, medical coding is different.
Uh,
This is Metra. This is
it's a
different.
different in the different. Yeah.
Right. So now you can see here, this is all the important variables. And IE, I told you, right? So in TI, what are the rules? What are the inclusion criteria? What is the exclusion criteria you have in TI domain? So people who are not meeting this, they will come into IE domain. IE stands for inclusion exclusion criteria not met. These are all the interview questions. So you guys are following, you'll be able to answer. If you're not following, you'll be into trouble. And LB is laboratory test results. So one record per analyte, one record per analyte. Okay, per planned time point number, per time point reference, per visit, per subject. So whenever you are doing assessments, you have a analytes. So particular laboratory test you will, whenever you are doing, so you will have some concepts called analytes, metabolites, even analyte 1, analyte 2. Okay, so in that case, with respect to each and every analyte, you are supposed to do this analysis. You have to, with respect to analyte, with respect to time point, with respect to time point reference, with respect to visit, with respect to subject, these many classifications you have. Okay, this is all about your LB domain. In a real time scenarios, LB domain will be the highest one. Okay, will be the highest one, right? Means it will have more number of records. It is a biggest data set. Next. So the important variables here you can see LB test CD, LB spec, visit number. LB spec is nothing but specifications. Okay, so LB test CD, LB specifications, visit num, and LB TPT-ref. TPT-ref is time point reference. TPT-ref is time point reference, and the TPT num. TPT num is time point number. Okay, right. Okay, TPT-ref, TPT num. These points are clear. Next, PE, physical examination. So findings domain. So one record per body system. Okay, one record per body system or abnormality per visit per subject. So each and every body system with respect to abnormality, with respect to visit, with respect to subject. So this is all how you get. So this is a PE domain, physical examination domain. So PE test CD and visit num. So PE test CD and visit num. These are all the important variables. Next, QS questionnaires. One record per questionnaire. Okay, one record per questionnaire, per question, per time point, per visit, per subject. Okay, so you can see, right, this is your questionnaires data set. QS cat. So questionnaires category, QS test CD, questionnaires test in short name, visit num, visit number, QS TPT ref, time point reference, QS TPT num, time point number. Okay, this is all about questionnaires data set. Next. Okay, QS is clear. Next, SC, subject characteristics. SC is subject characteristics. Findings domain. One record per characteristic per subject. Each and every characteristic for subject will be considered as a separate domain. This SC we will not create also, no problem. All these domains we will not do, but still this is how it works. So SC test CD, subject characteristics test in short name. VS, vital signs. One record per vital sign measurement, per time point, per visit, per subject. So you can see here VS test CD, visit num, VS TPT ref, and VS TPT num. So vital signs time point number, visit number, both are different. I want you to differentiate between these two. Okay. So visit number, vital signs time point number, VS TPT num, and VS TPT ref is time point reference. And DA, drug accountability, one record per drug accountability finding per subject. So you can see, right, DA test CD, drug accountability test in short name, and DA DTC. DA DTC is drug accountability date time. MB, microbiology specimen, one record per microbiology specimen finding per time, per visit, per subject. Each and every specimen finding is a finding that will be done with respect to time point, per visit, per subject. I told you, right, all your findings will be with respect to time point, per visit, per subject. Is that clear? So here you see MB test CD, visit num, TPT ref, TPT num. Clear? Is this slide clear to everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Is this slide clear to everyone? Yes or no? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
What about others here not responding? You guys are clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Next. MS, microbiology suspectability test. So one record per microbiology suspectability test. So each and every microbiology suspectability test will be considered as a separate record. So MS test CD, microbiology suspectability test in short name, visit number, time point reference, and time point number. Right. Fine. So these are all the important variables in this domain. PC, pharmacokinetic concentration. So whenever we are giving sample to a subject, whenever we are giving a drug to a subject, we collect blood samples. All that blood samples we collect with respect to different time points. So all that information, your bioanalytical team will analyze that information. They will see how much drug is available in your body. Okay, right. Okay, so that is called bioavailability. So all that information you do from pharmacokinetic concentrations. So MB is microbiology specimen. It is suspectability test. So different specimens you have. So specimens information will come into MD, and suspectability test. That test will come into MS.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next, PP, pharmacokinetic parameters. You can see, right, this is a PP, pharmacokinetic parameters. It belongs to findings domain. All your finding domains you can see here. Okay, right. So one record per PK parameter, per time concentration profile, per modeling method, per subject. Right. So here you can see what are your pharmacokinetic parameters.
Absorption, distribution. Metabolism and excretion.
Correct. This is the ADME cycle. What is the this is the process, but what are the pharmacokinetic parameters?
Tmax,
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 Distribution VD, volume of
area
distribution.
Absorption,
area under cover.
distribution,
AUC.
metabolic excretion.
Cmax, Tmax,
Tmax,
AUC,
area under
T half,
distribution.
left hand
VD
side.
T half.
So this is your pharmacokinetic parameters. With respect to each and every parameters, we will have a separate records. Right. Clear?
Then what about ADME, sir? ADME doesn't come under pharmacokinetic parameters.
No, yeah. ADME is a process. Correct. A is absorption. So that absorption is measured with a parameter Cmax. How much amount of drug is absorbed into your body? So that information. What is the maximum concentration? Cmax.
Okay, sir.
Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Next, FA. Findings about events or interventions. Findings about events or interventions. Findings domain. One record per finding, per object, per time point reference, per visit, per subject. Here, with respect to each and every object and with respect to time point, visits, time point reference. So these data you will get. So the important variables are, you can see FA test CD, findings about test in short name, and findings about objective, and next one visit number, and FA TPT ref, time point reference, FA TPT num, time point number. Next, TA, trial elements. TA, trial arms. Trial arms, as I told you. So what information you have, each and every element with respect to arm will be considered as separate record. So you can see here arm CD, TAET, ORD. Next, TV, trial visits. Each and every visit will be considered as a separate record. So how many visits the subject is planned to come for the CRO or hospital. So that information you will have in TV domain, trial visits domain. TI, trial inclusion exclusion criteria. So as per your protocol, what all the information you have, each and every condition criteria will be considered as a separate record. So the important variables you can see here is IE test CD. Okay, IE test CD. And TS, trial summary, one record per trial summary parameter value. So each and every record for trial summary you can have. Next, TS, trial summary is done. RELREC in which case we create? In which case we will create RELREC? In which case we will create RELREC? Hmm? In which case we create relrec. ఇప్పుడే కదా చెప్పుకున్నాం. Just now only we have discussed, right, when to create relrec. When we wanted to draw some scientific relationship between two or more data sets, in that case, based on your sponsor's request, we do this. Scientific rationally, if you wanted to bring some scientific justification by combining these two data sets, in that case, we create rel records. Other point I told you, so to see link between your adverse events and concomitant medication domain. You guys are not following, you're into trouble. Okay, so no matter how much good you are in SAS, if you don't know theory, you're zero. Okay, you know how to do, but you don't know what to do. Theory is the point which will explain what to do. How to do it is the technology. How to do is fine. If you don't know what to do, even though whatever you are able to do, you cannot do it. Okay, so I'm telling you upfront, if you are not following theory, you will be into deepest trouble. This is your subject. This is your subject. You have to be good here. Okay, you have to be good in domain. You have to be good in technology. Both you have to be good. If you are not, you are out of the game. So relrec, you can see, right, use subject ID, ID var value, and rel ID. Rel ID is nothing but related ID. And supplemental qualifier, you can see, right, so one record per ID var value, and qnum qval. So anyhow, I will create one supplemental qualifier data set for us in our project. You can see there. And R domain is related domain. Use subject ID, ID var value, qnum. So these are all the standard variables, and from the standard variables, these are the important variables you have in supplemental qualifier data sets. So this slide is clear to everyone, yes or no? This slide is clear to everyone, yes or no? I have given an overview of all these domains. I have given you an overview of all these domains. These are a list of standard SDTM domains. This primary key, natural key not required, you can ignore. Surrogate key also. Now, moving on to next concept, metadata contents and attributes. Metadata contents and attributes. So as per your metadata classification, we have three variables, three classifications. As per your metadata contents, we have three categories. First one, required. Okay. Metadata core variables are classified into three categories. First one, required. Second one, expected. Third one, permissible. Required, expected, permissible. So whenever I say it is required, whenever this variable is required, this means the meaning is this variable must be present in the data set. This variable for sure you have to present in the data set, but it should not contain null records. It should not contain null records. This variable must be present in the data set. It should not contain null records. Okay, right. Next, expected. This variable also must be present in the data set, but it can contain null records. It can have a null value.
Sir,
And permissible, yes please.
I mean, what does it mean by null record?
Null means empty here. Where
I mean,
is missing is null. Where lo kuda మనం నేర్చుకున్నాం కదా. Is null is missing. Null means empty. It will give missing records. Missing values.
I mean, Why are we using here? I mean, null record means in any lab parameters or what, sir? What are we using null record here?
So here in a data set you have variables, correct? Data set is set of variables, agree?
Yes, sir.
So those variables, so how will you know age variable is important or not? How will you know? So you see, right, these are all list of standard variables you have to present in a specific domain. I'll show you, give me a minute. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Yesterday I have shown you. This is your DM domain, right? You see here, this is your DM domain. So if you see last column, what is that? Last column here, what is that? In
Date or
DM
time of
domain, last column. I'm not asking last row, last column in the table.
last date, time of Cdisc notes, sir. Core.
అరే కోర్ కనిపించట్లేదా మీకు ఎవరికి? Core you can see, right? Core you can see, right? Core
Yes,
is
sir.
required, expected, plus
Yes, sir.
permissible. So this variable study ID is a required variable. Whenever you say this is coming into required classification, means for sure this variable must be present in your DM domain. At the same time, this variable should not contain any null values, nothing but missing values. You
Okay,
got the
sir.
point? Each
Yes,
and
sir.
every data set is set of variables. All that variables, metadata core classification is classified into three categories: required, expected, permissible. So we know we have to present this variable in DM domain, but is it mandatory or no? Not. You will understand in core classification, core variable classification. You got the point, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next. Permissible. These kind of variables must be included in the data set provided if data is collected. If suppose to say if no data is collected, no need to present these variables in this parent domain. Okay, if you have any data related to this kind of variables, then only this variable we have to present in this domain. If you don't have any data, if all the values are empty, then in that case you can drop this variable from parent domain. So variables, these all the variables that come into the category called permissible. Okay, permissible variables. For example, you see, right, investigator ID, investigator number, investigator name, investigator ID. These two are permissible variables. If somebody is capturing some information related to investigator ID, then only this variable must be created in DM domain. If all the values in this investigator ID is empty, then no need to present this variable in DM domain. You can simply drop this variable from DM domain. Is this clear to everyone, yes or no? Permissible variable, expected variable, required variable.
Yes, sir.
Right. So you can see here Adam guidance, like you see, right? Adam data sets, all your Adam data sets will have AD before, ADAE, ADSL, ADDM, so ADCA, ADCM. So you have all this. So all these points we already have covered, right? Findings, domain, events, interventions, all these domain names we have gone through, right? Agree, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And XYZ we know, right? Sponsor defined data sets, right? Okay, I'll stop this here for today. Maybe next class we will finish this SDTM wala concept. Okay, right. So before you come to this session, I will ask you guys to please go through this definitions, origin metadata. Okay, right. So next week we will try to finish this concepts. So the slide presentation will be done by next week. Hardly 4 or 5 slides are there. I know now your brain is not working, so I'll stop this here. So next week we'll continue this. Next week I'll also go with one specific domain as well. Okay, right. That's all for today, guys. Thank you. Bye. And tomorrow your class timings are same as usual. Okay, right. Bye all.